Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about why former President Donald Trump in 24 will pick Ron DeSantis. It's pretty much a no-brainer. It's pretty obvious that he's going to pick Ron DeSantis. Hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. To my super chat, I cannot do this without you. Your super chat support is greatly appreciated. What I'm going to do is, Eric, hello. Everybody here, hello. Quinn, hello. I'm going to go ahead and you're going to see Trump, you're going to see Biden, and we're going to talk about why it's not even a competition in 24. The fact that he's going to pick DeSantis, and the reason is because you have Never Trumpers, BRX95, hello. You have Never Trumpers who like DeSantis. You have people who are voting for Trump, like myself, who like DeSantis too. It's really pretty obvious. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to talk about exactly why Trump is going to do very well in 24 if he doesn't get Georgia and Arizona, those Republican parties, and I think DeSantis will help him get the Georgia and Arizona Republican parties on board. There's no chance. We might get Hillary Clinton's first term as president, because I do believe that Hillary Clinton will run in 24. But ladies and gentlemen, Boba Fett, hello. I love Tulsi Gabbard. Jennifer, I love Tulsi Gabbard. She's fantastic. Let's listen to, we'll first start off with Biden and then we'll go to Trump. I just want to show you why all he has to do is pick DeSantis, make peace with the Arizona and Republican parties, and then cruise to his second term in the Oval Office. But this is the beginning of the State of the Union. This is on C-SPAN. The Trump video is on C-SPAN. Everything's on C-SPAN. So there are no issues with C-SPAN when it comes to live streams generally. Anyway, let's listen to our current president. Hit subscribe to my super chat. I cannot do this without you.
United States Senate, Mitch McConnell. Where are you, Mitch?
Sorry about that. My computer froze. McConnell, it's McConnell's fault. Well, the fact that Biden is so close or loves McConnell so much, that's an issue. But that's neither here nor there. We'll get to the really important part here. So let's continue. I just want to compare Biden and I want to compare Trump and why DeSantis will help pull Trump over the top. But here,
jobs we've created with the help of many people. That's what we're doing again. 2 years ago, the economy was reeling. I stand here tonight.
2 years ago, the economy was reeling because Democrats tanked state economies. Media and bureaucrats pushed to end economic activity. This is a fact. It was a response to a serious issue. This is what DeSantis and Trump stand against. DeSantis, you saw what he did in Florida. It was not what people did in blue states. That's why Florida did much better and their economy did much better. And that's why people in blue states went to Florida. So you have a situation where during his speech, what you will find when Biden speaks, and the reason I wanted to give you Biden and Yvette, I hope all is well. Yvette Moore, hello. Thank you so very much for being a member. To my members, thank you. To my super chat, thank you. When Democrats talk about their accomplishments, the alleged accomplishments, are usually trying to rectify the disastrous mistakes of policies that didn't work. So when he talks about, well, 2 years ago we were reeling, yeah, there's a reason. You had bureaucrats, you had governors, you had a choice made by people. There was a choice made. Boba Fage, Jonovich, Rakowski, thank you. Thank you for being a member, becoming a member. Thank you, Yvette. Boba Fett, thank you. Greatly appreciated to my members, thank you. So, if you listen to him, what takes place is, unlike Trump, and you'll hear Trump in a second, he doesn't really talk about accomplishments. He talks about how Democrats rectified the failed policies that they pushed years back. Okay? We had a terrible economy because we engaged in the greatest economic sin in modern times. One of the greatest economic sins in modern times. Shutting down the economy did nothing, absolutely nothing to help anyone. Any study or data is all pure theory and wishful thinking, and doesn't address the spike in crimes, people ending their lives, people taking narcotics, people doing all these things they wouldn't have done. You know, contrary to the Democratic Party's philosophy on life, people don't just want checks, they want to work. They want to live life. They want to go to soccer practice. They want to, go to the beach. They want to, advance in their careers. They want to live life. And Democrats said, no, you cannot live life because it's a serious issue and we're shutting down American society and the economy. Now we'll listen to Trump and look at the difference. Look at the difference here. And he was laughed at. And he tells the truth, but the man was laughed at. Listen to this.
Germany will become totally dependent on Russian energy if it does not immediately change course. Here in the Western Hemisphere, we are committed to maintaining our independence from the encroachment of expansion.
Look at these people laughing, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, look at these people laughing. They're not laughing now because Trump was 100% right. He was 100% right. He predicted exactly what took place. And so that's the difference between Trump and Biden. Biden reacts, addresses failed Democratic Party policies, and then calls that an accomplishment, or tries to rectify disastrous policies, calls it an accomplishment. And Trump literally predicts the future, says, yeah, you know what? You're going to have this problem, and we had this problem.
Foreign powers. It has been the formal policy of our country since President Monroe.
They're laughing The man was 100% right. All you need is the Arizona and Georgia Republican parties and Ron DeSantis to help Trump make peace with the Arizona and Georgia Republican parties. If you just go by foreign policy, just go by economic policy, Trump is a million times better than anything Democrats have to offer. And I believe Hillary Clinton will be the nominee in 24. Was he not right? Was this man not right? Listen to this again. Listen to this again.
Germany will become totally dependent on Russian energy if it does not immediately change course. Here in the Western Hemisphere, we are committed to maintaining our independence from the encroachment of expansionist foreign powers. It has been the formal policy of our country since President Monroe.
So what did they? They're laughing, but it's like. By the way, could you hear that? Okay, because I had the microphone. I didn't mute the mic. Could you hear that? Okay. So anyway, the point, ladies and gentlemen, is just look at the difference. Then you get CPAC shows many.
We'll give you the NPR voice. CPAC shows many in Republican Party aren't ready to move on from Trump. Why is that? We're 90 seconds to midnight. You'd think that people would be happy. We're closer than ever to nuclear annihilation. At least it's better than Trump tweeting. But according to NPR, CPAC shows many, not 80, 90%, but many, not 40% more than the second place person, DeSantis. Many. They're not lying. It's true. Many. Of course, many isn't really an accurate description of overwhelming almost everyone at CPAC. So, Calvinist, the Calvinist. Thank you, AJ. Can you comment on it? Let me go ahead really quickly. um, really quickly, ladies and gentlemen. The Calvinist. Thank you. Let's see. Political strategy. Um. Well, in the 60s, you had to go ahead and in the 60s, I really can't give you the Calvinist an actual a good. I'm looking it up right now. Um, you need to help. You need to have a social safety net, but you also want to make sure that public policies don't keep people in poverty. So that's something that has to be addressed. When Democrats keep talking about helping poor people, what they ignore is that they've made people poorer. Their policies shutting down economic activity, which they would vote for again. So the Calvinists, thank you so very much. I think there's a balance between helping society and making sure that people don't stay poor. Thank you, the Calvinists. Thank you. Esmeralda Real. Please recap the Trump picking DeSantis. I believe Trump's going to pick DeSantis because he has to make peace with the Georgia and Arizona Republican parties. And I think DeSantis is the one person who's able to do so. So if he doesn't, that's 27 electoral votes in November of 24, Esmeralda. 27 electoral votes. If Trump does not get Georgia and Arizona, we could actually have ICBMs above, a depression, and everything else that could possibly take place, and Democrats would still win the White House and regain the Oval Office. So, Gladys, hello. I think that he's definitely going to pick DeSantis because DeSantis is the second most popular Republican by a mile. And I do think DeSantis can help. I do think DeSantis will help Trump make peace with the Georgia and Arizona Republican parties because he's a populist, but there is he's the favorite of never Trumpers. Okay, I love Tulsi Gabbard. She would be fantastic. I love Tulsi Gabbard, but DeSantis right now is the pick of never Trumpers. If like people in Arizona and Georgia who don't like Trump would likely vote for a Trump DeSantis ticket because DeSantis is on it. And you have to think, well, maybe there's a lot of people out there who think that DeSantis would be a moderating influence, let's say, on Trump. That would be their viewpoint. Okay. But I just think it's pretty clear. I don't see if he doesn't pick DeSantis, I think that's going to be a very, very bad move. Esmeralda, thank you so very, very much. Thank you. I agree the feud is serious, but the reason that people don't like DeSantis is because the never Trumpers are backing him. But that doesn't necessarily mean, thank you, Esmeralda. That doesn't necessarily mean DeSantis is bad. DeSantis is very good. He's excellent. He's excellent for a number of reasons. But here I want to I want to show you this. This is the United Nations speech in 2018. Let's see here.
The United Nations has unlimited potential. Our country, since why we congratulate European states such as Poland for leading the construction of a Baltic pipeline so that nations are not dependent on Russia to meet their energy needs.
Who was talking about this in 2018? Absolutely nobody. Joe Scarborough wasn't. The Lincoln Project wasn't. Kinzinger wasn't. Nobody who opposes Trump is a menace to democracy was talking about this. They say he doesn't understand, like, he's a monster, a maniac. This man is so much better at foreign policy than the career bureaucrats in Biden's administration who fall upwards, who fail upwards. The people in Biden's administration are complete failures, but they're Democrats, so they're not going to really experience the consequences of failing. They will fall upwards. They are like head coaches who go 0-16 but continue to get raises. Okay, Trump has a different mentality. He's a businessman. He is a billionaire. Whether you like it or not, the same Democrats and liberals who said he's not a billionaire watched The Apprentice every night it was on. So
he literally made the world safer, and Biden literally made the world more less safe. We know this to be true. This is a fact because you could just look at the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists. Which, oh, by the way, they moved the clock up right when Trump was inaugurated for no reason. Like, for no reason at all. They moved the clock back a bit when President Obama was inaugurated. But the largest increase ever was in Biden's third year. We did not have the problems we had with Trump. I mean, we didn't have the problems we have now with Trump. Those problems did not exist. Mary, thank you. Those problems did not exist. Okay? I mean, listen to this man, and that's why you get DeSantis, he takes it home. Scotty, I agree with you. 100%. I agree. That's a well said, Scotty V. Well said. Henry, man. Trump DeSantis 24 is a great ticket. I agree, Henry. I agree. I agree. But listen to this man, Henry. Everybody here, Esmeralda and Calvinist, everybody here, listen to what he's saying. Nobody who despised Trump, they were just focused on DNC emails, which have nothing to do with national security in 2018. But check this out. And the Mueller probe was trying desperately to get Trump. Again, this is national security. This is the definition of national security that Trump was telling the entire world. And now look at how they acted.
Germany will become totally dependent on Russian energy if it does not immediately change course. Here in the Western Hemisphere, we are committed to maintaining our independence from the encroachment of expansionist foreign powers. It has been the formal policy of our country since President.
Look at these diplomats laughing. Look at these diplomats. Why are they laughing? Trump was 100% right. Now there's a pipeline underwater that's completely obliterated. He was 100% right. But again, they don't, when people, it's like children not wanting to listen to their parents. Or like, not wanting to listen to your teacher. Trump is 100% right, but it's Trump, so they don't listen.
President Monroe, that we reject the interference of foreign nations in this hemisphere and in our own affairs. The United States has recently strengthened our laws to better screen foreign investments in our country for national security threats. And we welcome cooperation with countries in this region and around the world that wish to do the same. You need to do it for your own protection. The United States is also working with partners in Latin America to confront threats to sovereignty from uncontrolled migration.
So then he starts getting into topics that eventually, unfortunately, is proven right on. And when they want to disagree with Trump, they either say he's a lunatic or that he's a bigot, both of which aren't true, but both of which are a defense mechanism and very, very effective at a mindless rebuttal to circumvent the logic and the truth of what he's talking about. The man, he's not right about everything, but he's right about most things. That's like I say, if you watch this channel, I'm not right about everything, but I'm right about most things. The bird's eye view, I'm right about most things. Not everything.
Tolerance for governed by an international body in the new global compact on migration. Migrations of the world should resist and contribute our share. Can we realize the UN's highest aspirations? We must pursue peace without fear, hope without despair, and security without apology. Looking around this hall,
Security without apology. That is a very good thing. Henry, man! Trump was right. They just laughed and mocked him. I doubt they are laughing now. No, they're not. Henry, man, well said. Henry. You're 100% right, Henry. He's right. Security without apology. My King of Kings, exactly. Henry, you're 100% right. And again, when Trump actually tells the truth, aloha, I believe it's almost certain that he will. It's my belief that he will. Right now, you'll see the media try to get them to go at it, but I think it's pretty obvious it's going to take place. Henry, great point. Thank you, Henry. They're not laughing, and they're not laughing. But security without apology, that is one of the most important statements he's made. I mean, let's look at the difference. Here's Biden.
After we've created, with the help of many people in this room, 12 million new jobs, more jobs created in 2 years than any president's created in 4 years because of you all.
He didn't create not even one job. He didn't create anything. Trump created jobs. We had a manufacturing loss under 8 years of President Obama. We had a manufacturing gain under Trump before his last year in office when Democrats tanked the economy. He had almost 500,000 200 to 300,000. Well, one estimate is close to 500,000 new manufacturing jobs with Trump before his last year in office when Democrats tanked the economy. Politically. There was intent there politically. It wasn't just to keep people safe. The man lies through his teeth. Nobody calls him on it, really. He lies much more than Trump ever did. Because when they go after Trump, they're like with this enraged, zealous hysteria. And they slice and dice every word. With this man, they barely really go after him. And when he lies, which is constant, which is much more than Trump ever lied, they say, well, no sensation, no apoplectic coverage of Biden's lies. He did not create even one job. He allowed the Democrats opened up their economies. Democrats opened up their economies. Democratic governors allowed people to work. That is the only thing that happened. This is a lie. He did not create more jobs than anyone in history. He allowed people to finally get back to work. The unemployment rate went back to where it was in the beginning of 2020. Again, the unemployment rate was at 3.3, 3.4%, something around there. In 2020, it went back to where it was. Again, this is a very important point that morally superior Democrats don't understand. We had record low unemployment in the beginning of 2020. We had household median incomes at record highs. We had real wages up 1.1%. We had inflation at 2%. Then Democrats said, bye-bye society, bye-bye economy. be afraid of your shadow. And if you're not afraid of your shadow, you're a bad human who should never have been born. And it wasn't just, the fog of ignorance. We were just, we didn't know what was going on. We had to shut down the economy. The experts told us to do so. Democrats did not have, they could have done what Florida did. We would have been much better off. And every time Trump tried to open up the economy or tell people to open up, it wasn't his call. They said, it's too soon. It's too soon. Too soon. Experts say, Trump, too soon to open up, too soon to open up. And now he's taking credit after disastrous Democratic policies for allowing states to open up. This was Democratic governors, okay? Democratic governors tanking state economies and the country's economy by shutting down everything.
Because of the American people. 2 years ago, COVID had shut down, our businesses were closed, our schools were robbed of so much, and today, COVID no longer controls our lives. And 2 years ago, democracy faced its greatest threat to the Civil War, and today, though bruised.
Right? It wasn't a microscopic organism that made policies. It was apoplectic and hysterical bureaucrats who demanded obedience and allegiance, and Democratic governors who were more than happy to shut down life as we know it. Then, when they opened up and allowed people to live, they said, oh, wow, look, the microscopic organism allowed us to do so. It's like, no, your reaction, your apoplectic, hysterical reaction to a serious issue did not help anybody. Not one. You could look at any estimate or projection. They're all wishful thinking. You're ignoring in any of these estimates or projections the devastation, the havoc, the negative impact that will never be truly known of shutting down American life because Democrats and bureaucrats and the experts pushed for it. And by the way, experts were against it also. These experts were silenced by Twitter and by media companies. So again, another lie, another blatant lie. Then he brings up schools, and it's like, you did all of these things. They upended society, and then they said, oh, society suffered. It's like, well, you've upended society. Robert, they can. If there's paperwork they can sign, and it is common. It was a viewpoint that a lot of people had, but there is paperwork. Like Trump or DeSantis have to file a certain type of paperwork, and they can do so. I think Bush and Cheney had that problem because Cheney lived in Texas most of the time, but they filed paperwork and it was okay. GMC, yeah, if they file paperwork, they can do that.
Our democracy remains unbowed and unbroken.
Our democracy. When was our democracy in parallel? Well, democracy was fine. Guess what? Trump can make any statement he wants to make. Democracy is just fine. We can learn about the truth about the DNC emails and Hunter's laptop. Democracy is just fine. As long as the court system works and you have judges who aren't influenced by media and the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, democracy's fine. When you have intel agents and intel chiefs trying to influence the outcome, yeah, that's bad. When you silence dissent, yeah, that's bad. Why do you think they silenced dissent? Twitter. Because if anyone was able to speak freely, they would vote Trump. If you're able to actually communicate and speak freely about a number of topics, more people will gravitate. If you have endless media coverage and no ability to offer a rebuttal on any platform, then public opinion polls will obviously show that 60% of people want whatever Democrats want. What do you think's going to happen? It's called public relations. It's called public relations. Advertising, marketing. You go buy a billboard once, you're not going to buy Pepsi. You go buy the same billboard 50 times. You go buy the same billboard 50 times. The 70th time, maybe you want a Pepsi. And Carrie Lake is not going to be a good choice because Carrie Lake, even though we won't get into it, but she didn't win. You need somebody who is, Rob, hello. You need somebody who has won. DeSantis is the governor. So, well, let's continue. See, they keep on what they do. They keep on they don't actually have any specific accomplishments. What Democrats do with Trump, he can point to specific accomplishments. He had manufacturing jobs. He had real wages up. He did so. He didn't just shut down the economy, then open it back up and say, oh, I took credit for that, like Democrats. These people are like, oh, yeah, our democracy is safe. From what? What are you talking about? That entire summer or that one day in January? Because the entire summer was $1 to $2 billion in property damage, and I support the cause of why people demonstrated peacefully. I support the cause of why people demonstrated peacefully, but I don't support $1 to $2 billion in property damage. So, let's continue.
As we gather here tonight, we're writing the next chapter in the great American story, a story of progress and resilience. When world leaders ask me to define America, and they do, believe it or not,
There are no leaders. There are no leaders who ask this man to define America. Because America could be defined by this man's laptop along with Hunter, the Hunter's laptop along with this man, and the way media Twitter censoring the New York Post. That could be the new definition of America as Democrats take control. So nobody asks him to define America. Nobody, world leaders know exactly what we're about, the good and the bad. In my view, we're the greatest country in the world, but one definition of America could be the New York Post being censored because major companies like Twitter sided directly with the Democratic Party to silence opposition to the Democratic Party. That's the new definition of America now. Well, let's continue. Because the truth makes you vote Trump.
I can define it in one word, and I mean this: possibilities. We don't think anything is beyond our capacity. Everything is a possibility. You know, we're often told that Democrats and Republicans can't work together. But over the past 2 years, we've proved the cynics and naysayers wrong. Yes, we disagreed plenty. And yes, there were times when Democrats went alone. But time and again, Democrats and Republicans came together to defend a stronger and safer Europe. You came together.
How on earth is Europe stronger and safer? How on earth? That's like when Bush said he kept us safe. How on earth is this? You would have to have no functioning brain cells to believe Europe is safer. Europe is less safe. This was 3 weeks ago, by the way, this speech. Go compare this speech to Trump's 2018 UN speech. Very different. Real news, thank you. Real news headquarters, thank you. So Europe is much less safe than it's been since the fall of the Berlin Wall. Even it has been it's never been in greater peril. Maybe the Cuban Missile Crisis was the last time it was in greater, despair. But let's continue. We are 90 seconds to midnight, so I don't know what this man is talking about.
Together to pass once in a generation infrastructure law, building bridges connecting our nation and our people. We came together to pass the most significant law ever, helping victims exposed to toxic burn pits. And in fact,
all right, so you sent them to these. If you have veterans and soldiers and Americans exposed, you sent them to these never-ending military conflicts. That's number one. Number two, what did he say just now?
that's what we're doing again. 2 years ago, the economy was reeling.
The economy was reeling because Democrats tanked the economy. It was Democratic governors that tanked state economies. There were even articles, the 12 or 13 Republican holdouts. You didn't have to tank the economy.
I stand here tonight after we've created, with the help of many people in this room, 12 million new jobs, more jobs created in 2 years than any president's created in 4 years.
Not one job did this man create. Again, he's lying through his teeth. There's a difference between creating a job and allowing the country to run again, and Democratic governors saying, "Okay, you can start working again." Light years difference between creating a job. Trump actually created hundreds of thousands of manufacturing jobs. Okay, because he gave incentives, he lessened regulation, he did a lot of things. The tariffs, there were steel tariffs that actually created jobs. So the steel companies were asking for those tariffs. But there was an emphasis. Trump's economic plan emphasized manufacturing. And within that economic plan, you had manufacturing. You had 200,000 less manufacturing jobs, a decrease in 200,000 manufacturing jobs. You have the USMCA. He renegotiated trade deals. This all helped manufacturing, Trump. So the rebuttal is like, well, you know what are his policies? It's like, well, okay, first he had 2 to 400,000 new manufacturing jobs. That's a fact before 2020. And then you have the USMCA renegotiating trade deals, speaking to manufacturers and business. Corporations did much better under Trump. than under Biden. Well, Biden, they got free money, but the economy was far more stable and better under Trump. Anyway, let's continue. But what was he?
Because of you all, because of the American people. About a lot more than a paycheck. In fact, I signed over 300 bipartisan pieces of legislation since becoming president, from reauthorizing the Violence Against Women Act, the Electoral Count Reform Act, the Respect for Marriage Act that protects the right to marry the person you love.
He had the Senate and he had the House. So I don't, for the life of me, I don't get like, oh, he did a lot of things. He had the Senate and the House for 2 years. What more do you want? He had the Senate, he had the House, he had never Trumpers, and he had full control of the media narrative. What more can you ask for? All right, let's go. Here's the difference. Biden takes credit for things that have nothing to do with his administration. Nothing. He's put in a position where he can take credit for rectifying the failures of the Democratic Party, from opening up the economy to just having, or at least the success of having the Senate and the House. You have the Senate and the House. How on earth is this such a big deal to pass legislation? And you have never Trumpers. So, but listen to this. By the way, this is the beginning of President Trump's UN speech. I just wanted to pick some things that you could just show without a big problem. So, CMW! CMW! Thank you! CMW, thank you so very much. Keep calling them out, HA. Thank you. Christian O'Brien! Thank you, Christian. CMW, Christian O'Brien. Hello, CMW. Thank you so very, very much. As always, thank you, CMW. Christian, I hope all is well. Christian O'Brien, thank you. Let's continue. All right. To my super chat, thank you.
Madam President, Mr. Secretary General, world leaders, ambassadors, and distinguished delegates, 1 year ago, I stood before you for the first time in this grand hall. I addressed the threats facing our world, and I presented a vision to achieve a brighter future for all of humanity. Today, I stand before the United Nations General Assembly to share the extraordinary progress we've made. In less than 2 years, my administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay. America's economy is booming like never before. Since my election, we've added $10 trillion in wealth. The stock market is at an all-time high in history, and jobless claims are at a 50-year low.
It's always been
So he was right about everything. He was right about the unemployment rate, jobless claims. The stock market was doing well, but that's not really that important in terms of an indicator of wealth. I believe he had already been the first president to step foot in North Korea, to begin détente between North and South Korea. This was the beginning of 2019. In 2019, we had a record low in poverty, and they laughed at him. This is why, like, they say we can't have good things. Real News Headquarters, thank you. Christian, thank you. Okay. CMW, Christian, thank you. CMW, thank you. So, what did this man assign? Like, what did he do wrong? Oh, he insulted this. No, he didn't. Here's the thing. You need somebody alongside Trump who can defend Trump. Pence was terrible at that. Pence was absolutely terrible at that. You need somebody who can say, yeah, these are accomplishments. These are very good accomplishments. These are excellent accomplishments. This is hilarious. And this is how media is just, it's in its own world. No way. Larry Hogan won't run. Who cares? Is there one person in the entire universe who cared about Larry Hogan challenging Trump? There's not one person in the entire ever expanding universe who gives a what, who cares at all, who didn't even think of this. This is why nobody trusts media. Because they know media is so utterly desperate at trying to if people just report, if they just reported on the truth, the actual truth, there'd be no stopping Trump. I mean, there really would be no stopping Trump. Nobody cares. So this is Trump's age, finances keep him from holding more. That's wrong because it's a year and a half. It's about a year and a half. What is he supposed to do? Have rallies now? Media won't cover them. So what is he supposed to do? All of this is nonsense. So CMW, thank you.
This is NPR. CPAC shows many in Republican Party ready to move from Trump. It's true that like 90% of Republicans love Trump, but we'll just say many. Because if we told the truth, then people would understand that Trump is very popular, no matter what we think. Let's listen to this here. Oh, it's a little podcast here. Why would they not want to move on from Trump? Maybe there's a good Republican like Mitt Romney. Wouldn't they want to move on from Trump's divisive rhetoric? Wouldn't they want to move on from Trump to somebody better, like Paul Ryan? It's too bad.
So he gets like 90%, 80, 90% of the vote in CPAC. Like, well, many. Well, I guess that's one way to describe overwhelming dominance in CPAC. Many. Many. Trump begins his final battle. Oh my God. In fact, Trump delivers wildly dishonest. Let's look at this. Let's look at how wildly dishonest this will be. Facts first. So they take. Oh my god, this is hilarious. Ah, oh my god. So they're not looking at Brooklyn. They're not looking at Queens. They're not looking at other parts of New York. You take his. I'm not going to get into it, but this fact check is a lie. They take place right in when he says right in Manhattan, he doesn't mean only in Manhattan. He means throughout New York. But this type of crime is up throughout New York. Okay, throughout New York. I think it's reached record levels also. You have like weekends where there's like untold carnage. While it's true that it didn't take a turn, it's not true. The only here we go. Like it's while it's true. Whenever you hear while it's true, it's just a desperate attempt at just taking. None of this is actually true. None of this is actually like the fact check on Trump. They actually have to like create a Trump to fact check because it's not really what he says or what he means, but they're taking little bits and pieces out of context, missing the actual context that they claim is missing. Like they claim his words are missing context or lies. What they do is they actually lie and they distort context to try to claim that he's lying. It's like the most warped and twisted fact check you could ever, see in your life. No, let's see. Christie jabs again. Chris Christie. Who even pays attention to him? Who even cares? Like what he says? I don't get it. Let's see. And then they go, "Oh, Larry Hogan, a cult of personality." His personality has nothing to do with it. It's his policies, nothing to do with it. We had record low poverty. We didn't have an invasion in Europe. We didn't have the crime. We didn't have the problems at the border when Trump was president. We didn't have these we didn't have the atrocities taking place. I opposed one of his policies, yes, but he fixed that. And what took place under President Obama was worse. But then again, when Democrats look in the mirror, they don't like what they see, so they just distort fact checks and actually lie during the fact check. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I should have a live stream tonight at around 9 p.m. So be here at around 9 p.m. Pacific. I will have an upload before then. So in about a couple of hours, I will have an upload. Hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you, everybody. I'll be back two times today. Hello. I will be back. I'll have a live stream at around 9 p.m. Pacific tonight. And I will have a video probably around 7 p.m. Pacific time. So be here at around 7 p.m. Pacific time for the video. And I will have a live stream later this evening. Thanks, Eric. CMW, everyone here. Paul Bartlett, Everyone here, thanks everybody. To my super chat, thank you. I can't thank you enough. Yvette, everybody here, the new members, thank you. And I will see you at around 7 p.m. for the upload, and then 9 p.m.